Let's start it immediately. Hi, Stephen. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Just making sure. Sometimes Zoom does
I know.
weird
Weird things.
things. Oh man, that would be the greatest thing. Start off strong with a rough mic.
Hmm.
Oh, I love that background.
Yeah, so there you go.
That's awesome.
Fond
Oh,
memories.
yes. I was gonna say that takes me back. Wow. How have you been doing?
Good, just busy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you are too.
Oh yeah. It's been interesting.
Hmm.
Fleeing Israel during a war was
Pretty
that
crazy.
that was an experience I never thought I would have, but
Yeah.
here we are.
Hmm.
Wow. Yeah.
So, like, how close was it that stuff fell near you?
So the night after Israel attacked Iran,
Hmm.
we were getting it was 3 times a night run to the shelter, and literally the first time I ran out of the hotel, I opened the door because we had to run across the street. The bomb shelter was across the street.
Yeah.
Open the door, and there's literally on the horizon a missile from the Iron Dome coming straight over us.
Wow.
That was the first 5 attacks where it was just missiles in your area get below.
Yeah.
The last attack that we had, and it was the day we were leaving Israel, 7:30 in the morning. Iran had not struck at all during the daytime because usually you don't want to do that. It said unidentified aircraft in your area, and then it said rockets and missiles fired at Nazareth.
Wow.
And that time we actually felt the concussions of the Iron Dome taking out the missiles directly over our
Oh my
heads.
gosh, that's crazy.
So that was really terrifying. And of course, I had one colleague standing on the surface taking a
Yeah.
video because, of course, as one does, and
Yes.
that's what the Nazarenes were doing. Honestly, was they were standing outside of their buildings just watching like it was fireworks. So
It's our equivalent of watching a tornado go over, right?
pretty much, yes, that's exactly what it is. Oh man. Oh, we got more people. Hello. Hi, Jordan and Stephanie. Hello.
How you doing?
Doing well. Thank you.
Hey, how's it
Hi.
going?
Hi. I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good, good, good. Everyone's summer going all right?
So
Yeah.
fun.
Yes, it's going great.
Good. Keeping busy.
Yeah,
Any of y'all have classes going?
yeah.
Mm,
So yes, from Jordan, what class do you have right now in the summer?
I'm in human and resource management. Excuse me. It's a leadership class.
Okay. Very good. Wow. Wow. Very good, man. And I see is that that's another Steve. And hi, Catherine.
The Steve show, of
And
course.
that's what I was gonna say. The two of you emailed me. I went, oh, we've got the gang. That's it. Oh, good. And Aaron, good. Let's see. All right. Well, since I'm recording, I won't take up much more of our time. Lon's on too. Very good. Um, yeah. Welcome to the Greek workshop. Congratulations, as I said, on choosing Greek as a class, as a language. This is going to be really good. Just a little about myself. My name's Kristen. I'm an adjunct professor at GKU. I'm also your Greek tutor. You can call me Kristen or Professor Dantzler. I mean, we're not in the classroom. Honestly, this is pretty casual, so I'm okay either way. If we ever there is another Kristen that may or may not join us at any point. So, whatever whatever keeps it less confusing is fine by me. But I'm chill. So yeah, I just a little about myself. I attended Randolph-Macon College for my undergrad, double majored archaeology and Greek with a religious studies minor. Came to TKU, did the Masters of Divinity, graduated last spring of 2024. And now I'm here. Now I'm blessed to teach. So I'm thrilled to be here. Glad y'all are here. Stephen and I went to Oxford, got some tutoring from Dr. Call on C.S. Lewis. So, if you ever talk to Dr. Call, uh, glean from his nerdiness and awesomeness. So, yeah. So Greek, let's just dive right in. Um, this is going to seem a little weird, but I'm just going to give you an overview. What you're going to be learning is a very streamlined version of the language itself. So Greek, ancient Greek goes back centuries, 1100s or so, BC, way back. Greece was hardly ever a unified country. It was just a bunch of city-states that, half the time happened to have the same culture, same sort of language. Um, and if you ever try to read at any point ancient Greek, and you pick up one author and you muddle your way through, congratulations, first of all. But then you pick up another author, it's going to be like learning a completely different language all over again. That's what it feels like. Going from Homer to Herodotus, the historians, it's absolute madness. So we get to Alexander the Great. He did us all a solid favor. Okay. He he created a kingdom. And the main language, because he adored the Greeks, was a common version of ancient Greek, which we call Koine, right? Koine means common. So you already know a Greek word already. Koine means common. He spread that, and by the time he died, they were still using the language in that region. So the Romans come in, they look around and say, oh, the hard work's been done for us. We already have a language that's here. It's good enough. We'll leave it for the people. We'll maintain Latin for ourselves in our beloved capital, but otherwise, fine. Koine is great. And that really unified Rome as an empire. Why on earth am I telling you this? Does anyone have a guess as to why I'm telling you all this? It's totally fine if you don't.
Background matters.
Background matters. Background matters. Culture matters. Culture is language, is culture, right? Nothing is done in a vacuum. Everything that we do, everything we say is influenced by culture, by what is around us, right? By the thoughts that are around us. So, in order to understand a language, you need to have some understanding eventually of the culture as well. Otherwise, it's just words. Now, I'm not teaching the class for the fall. I believe it's Dr. Thompson, I think, who's teaching it. She's wonderful. I don't know how deep into Greek culture she will go. If she doesn't, totally fine. Eventually, I definitely encourage you to understand have a basic understanding of the culture, Greco-Roman culture in general, just so you know what it is you pick up. And let's see if I can do this right without messing things up too badly here. Okay, can everyone see the slide? Doing good. Okay, awesome. So here's the deal with Greek. When you start to read the Gospel of Mark, right, or any of the Gospels, the New Testament, you think by learning Greek, you're going to get all of these insights that you never understood in English, and that may be true. right? That does happen. But that being said, for every answer you get, there is also going to be another question that comes up. And part of that is because we are not living in that culture, we're not living in that time period. What was very obvious for them that they didn't feel the need to spell out is not so obvious for us. And we have to do a little more digging, and even then, we may still argue amongst ourselves. What did this mean? Why were these words chosen? Right? And there's different manuscripts to deal with as well. You'll if you dig deep enough, you'll go into textual criticism and you'll see that there's um, nothing, when I say differences, nothing that is faith shattering. Okay, that's a false view to say, oh, look at all these different manuscripts, all these differences, therefore scripture is not true. Absolutely not the case. The amazing part of amazing nature of scripture is that in spite of all these superficial differences, it's still cohesive and gives the same message um, accurately and without wavering, right? And that's the awesome nature of our God, right? Using something imperfect, right, like a human language, and making something that we can rely on, right? So going into Greek, a huge temptation because I would assume most of you are only going to go through a year's worth of Greek. Most of y'all are probably not going to do 9 semesters and more like what I did, because I'm a dork. Okay, so you don't, but the temptation of only taking a year of Greek is, oh, now I can go to a Greek dictionary or a lexicon, right? And I'll be able to just translate scripture. And you will be able to, but the temptation that a lot of people fall into is they pull up a lexicon and they see that one word could have multiple different meanings, and they'll tend to choose the word that they like the best, that maybe has the best punch for a sermon. And that may not have actually been what the word meant in that particular context, right? Context, culture, again, is very important. And so, if the New King James or the ESV translates a word one way and you go, oh, but there's this other version, this other definition over here that would be really interesting. It could mean that, or it could not, right? So I just want to give you the warning now. Try your best not to pick and choose what sounds the best. It really is based on context. What is this, like, what's surrounding it in the sentence, what's going on in that moment, what the author is trying to convey, right? So an example that I've seen used over and over again is the word agape, right? Which, I mean, how many of you have heard the word agape before? Right. Yep. And that's usually described as unconditional love, right? Usually it's phileo is brotherly love, and eros is the romantic love, and agape is the godly unconditional love. That can be true, right? But as you can see on the slide, it was also used for sexual love in certain contexts. And then in John 3:19, the second half, when he says, and men loved the darkness more than the light, he uses agape. So what is that? What does that mean? It's no longer the pure godly love. It's something that's very twisted, right? So it's just being careful of not taking something to the extreme. Um, but you learn over time, and or maybe we just maybe you just never learn. There's always going to be questions, but that's okay, right? um I have examples down at the bottom of English words that, out of context, you have no idea. I mean, what do I mean when I say the word ball? What comes to mind?
Sports.
Sports? Yeah,
Football.
sport. What was the
Football.
football? Football? Right. Yeah. So what kind of ball, if we're talking about sports, what kind of ball am I talking? Is it a football? Is it a tennis ball? There's that. Um, Maybe I'm a Jane Austen fan, right? And I'm referencing her and saying, the characters are going to a ball, right? That's completely different. Or we are having a ball, something a little more figurative, right? If you just see the word ball in a sentence and then you look at the lexicon, you see these different definitions. Which do you choose? Well, it's based off of what the sentence is, right? What is the context? What are they talking about? So I won't go through all the others, but you get the idea. So those are my uh, my warnings to you, my you know, and encouragement, I suppose, of it's tricky, right? Language is tough. Language is fluid. Um, and we don't all translate perfectly. We don't all read perfectly. That's okay. We're doing this to the best of our ability, right? So, and that's scholarship in general. So, all right. Now that I've done all that preliminary stuff for you, and let's see if I can actually get myself to do it. Who's ready to learn Greek? Let's go. Let's go. All right. So, this is going to make you guys feel ridiculous. Okay, this is like kindergarten all over again. Just, here we go. ABCs. All right. But it's okay because you're all in it together. So you can all look ridiculous together. So, first letter, alpha, right? This is pronounced ah, father. Okay. I'll show you. I have drawn out the letters on each side. So capital, lowercase, obviously. These are drawn exactly as you would think. The capital letter is just like an A. Lowercase is like a fish, just like that. Maybe a little tighter. It's tough to draw with a mouse, so I did my best, guys. There you go. So that's alpha. Then we have beta, right? That makes sense. A and B, alphabet, alpha, beta. Beta is in B, boy, B, right? Um, Capital letter, just like our B, our capital B. Perfect, easy. For the lowercase, you'll notice some of the letters, like our letters, some of them go below the line. Okay, so for the lowercase, you start down here, you go up, and you curve and down. And I definitely, if you're not writing it down, I definitely encourage you to write it, to practice it. That's going to be how you memorize the best, is by writing these letters over and over again. But you can go back, look at the recording anytime. You'll get it. You'll have to write them over and over again anyway. Gamma is the third letter. Gamma, G. It's their G, right? Their uppercase looks like an inverted L, just like that. And their lowercase looks like a Y with a loop at the bottom. Most of the time is how you'll see it. You'll go up, go below the line, loop around, back up again. Okay. So that's gamma. G. Delta. Delta is dog. D is in dog. The uppercase. I'm sure you've seen some of these, if you've ever seen sororities, fraternities, Delta honor societies. Delta uppercase is a triangle. Lowercase, it sits on the line. You start here and you come around and over. Okay, so that's delta D. Epsilon. Epsilon is an E. It is a short E sound. Eh, right? Capital letter, nice and classic E. Love it. Keeping it simple for now. Lowercase again sits on the line. It's a backwards 3. Okay, epsilon. Eh. Then we have zeta. Zeta is Z as in zebra. Uppercase, classic Z. Lowercase, you're gonna have a fun time with. All right, so it's gonna trail below the line at the end. So you start up here, you give a little curve, you come around, you can be fancy like this one or whatever, curve around, come down, and then it has a little tail that comes at the bottom of the line right there. So down, around, and then give it a little flourish. And that's zeta, Z. Eta. Eta is another like E sort of sound. It's a long A though, which is fun. A. Uppercase is an H. Here's where we start to get a little interesting. It's an H. Lowercase looks like an N with a tail. So you start up here, come down, hit the line, up again, and the end trails below the line. Just like that. Okay, so that eta, A. All right, we've got theta, theta, th, th. And this one, upper and lowercase, can be a little tricky to distinguish if you write them incorrectly. The uppercase is a nice circular O with a line through it. It can either go all the way through or it may have a space like you see here. Doesn't matter. That's font. That's just font preference. Lowercase is going to have a little more of a squished look to it. So you start here, come up, and then kind of curve the middle line through like that, which was also really hard to draw with the mouse, as you can see. Anyway, so that's theta. Th. Okay, now this is, I'm going to say this in a very specific way just for your sakes. Okay, you always hear it pronounced iota because we say, not an iota. I'm going to say it differently. Iota. Almost like the Star Wars character. Not Yoda, okay, but iota. Iota. All right, and the reason I say it like that is because this vowel has an E sound to it. When you say it, iota, then you can remember, this sounds like E, right? Uppercase, this is font choice. It'll either be straight or it'll look just like a capital I, right? Lowercase is down and it has this tail. That tail is very important. If you just draw a straight line, no one in Greece knows what you're talking about. Okay, in ancient Greece, not a clue. So you need that tail. Okay, but it doesn't come too far up because that's a different letter entirely. So iota, E. And we got kappa, nice easy one after all the interesting ones. K, like K. Uppercase looks like a K. Lowercase is just a small version of it. Notice it doesn't have the extra bit of the line up here for the lowercase. It remains even all the way across. Okay, and like I said, it's just half the size of the capital letter, and that's how to draw it properly. So that is kappa. K. Lambda. Lambda is the L sound. That is an upside down V for the capital letter, just like that. Lowercase has a little tail that comes across. You start up here, you come down, hit the line, you come back up, hit the line again. Okay, so that is lambda. L. All right, I'm going to say this one a little different too, probably than some of you. Some people say it moo. I was taught mu. Preference maybe. That's how I've heard it most. Those mu. That is M. Capital letter. Beautiful M. Lowercase starts with the tail beneath the line, comes up, and then makes a U shape with a shorter tail at the end. That does not go beneath the line. Okay, so nice little wave to it. So that is mu. M. Next is nu, right? That is their N. N. Capital letter, capital N. Love it. Like to keep it simple when learning a new language. Lowercase, maybe not so simple. Looks like a V. It's a lowercase v. Okay, so that is nu. N. This one may give you some trouble. Did for me. This is xi. Xi. This is the X sound. X, right? Uppercase, it's like an open box, just like that with a line through it, or you may see it with no extra lines on it. That's, again, font. For the lowercase, start up here, give it a nice curl it again here like a 3, and it's got a tail that comes down underneath the line. So up, around, curve, sit on the line, under the line. And that is xi. X. All right, this is Omicron. Omicron, it is the easiest one to draw. It's our O. Uppercase, lowercase o. Love it. Depending on which school you follow in terms of pronunciation, you will either hear it pronounced as a short O, which is how I was taught, which is or you may hear it as a long O. Some people pronounce it as a long O. So that's preference. The truth is, we don't know what ancient Greek sounded like. There were no recorders back then. We haven't a clue. We're giving it our best shot. Modern Greek doesn't help us at all. So that's our best guess. Okay, so for my sake, I'm just going to say Omicron, again, not pi, but p. P, again, for the sake of keeping the Yoda sound, P. But and it's P. Mathematics makes this very easy. So uppercase, it has no extra little waves on the end. It's just straight across. Up at the top, lowercase, you have the 2 lines and it waves through. Has a little wave coming through it. So that is P. This is Hro. Hro is an R. It's an R, it's a breathy R, basically. Hro. Not everyone puts that much effort into pronouncing it. So if you don't, it's totally fine. Regular R sound works just as well. But just know that that's what it's intended to be. The uppercase is an uppercase P. No tail. Coming down at the bottom, just a P. Lowercase, again, starting below the line, coming up and around, looks like a P. But it's not, it's an R. So that's Rho. Sigma. Sigma's S. Right? This is the fancy looking 3 for the uppercase, right? Very sharp. No curves in this one. Okay. And then the lowercase. You'll notice I have 2 letters here for the lowercase. Okay. First one starts at the top. You come around like an O and then give it a little extra line up at the top. This sigma is used when it's at the beginning or in the middle of a word. Okay. So that's what this is for. This sigma, on the other hand, which as you see, has its tail that comes between the lines like a C, and then it has a tail underneath. That is an ending letter. You only see this sigma when the letter ends a word. Okay, so you will never see this version in the middle of a word, and you will never see this version at the end of a word. Make sense? All right, awesome. Sigma. Tau, T, Uppercase, looks like a T. Lowercase, it's half the size of the uppercase, comes down and around, has that little tail at the end, and then you cross up at the top, not in the middle, but at the top. And that is T, tau, t. Upsilon. Upsilon is this is another disputed one. Most scholars that I've heard say that it is a short U sound, uh. Some argue that it could have been a Y sound, I, potentially. Again, we don't know. Um, Dynamite is a word where, well, I'll type that later. We don't need that. Anyways, the reason why it's disputed is because the uppercase looks like a Y. Uppercase looks like a Y, but the lowercase looks like a U with no tail at the end. So, uh, yeah, most schools say a short U. So let's go with that. Upsilon. Makes sense with the word. Upsilon. Okay. This is phi. Again to the end. We've got four more letters to go. This is phi. This is an F. F. Uppercase. You have a circle and a line that goes through and it sits on the line of your paper. Doesn't go underneath. Lowercase. This is a font choice. It is not a font that you will see often. What you will mostly see is what I drew here, where you start here, up at the top, you come around, up back to the top, and then you come straight down to go below the line. And that is how you will usually see a lowercase phi typed out in your textbook. So that is phi. Th. All right, this one's fun. This is probably my favorite letter, if you can have a favorite letter. This is chi. Chi. It's a guttural KH sound. Like I said up here, our closest sound to it is choir. That's probably as guttural as English gets half the time. Choir. Ch. Ki is an uppercase X for the uppercase. For the lowercase, half the size of the uppercase again. You'll start up and it'll have a little curve at the beginning before coming down and then finishing like an X. All right, so that is chi. Chi. If you don't want to put that much effort into it, chi. But, just know again, it's guttural, has that breathiness to it. Psi. This is psi, as if we were saying psychology. Well, I wonder where we got that word from. The uppercase. This is I think of Poseidon. Not that we don't say Poseidon, but Poseidon, right? The god of the sea and of horses. He had a trident. Uppercase comes down around like this, like a U. Line goes straight down, hits the line like a trident. Lowercase, same idea, except it's lower down and the line goes underneath. Right? It's got that little extra tail. So psi, which makes the ps. And last but not least, alpha to omega. Omega, another disputed one. Let's call it a long O. Okay, like a boat. O. This uppercase is like a horseshoe, right? Tails on both ends. Ignore the hideousness of the drawing. Type is better. Lowercase is a W. It's a little W. All right. And you survived the alphabet. Congratulations. Let's see what we got. So that's just a transliteration. I'm more than happy to share my slides with you as well, so we won't have to go through all of that again. But here it is. Here it is in full. Most of the time, you will not see the uppercase. You should still learn them 100% because you're going to run into a Xi out of nowhere when you run into a name like Xerxes, and you're going to go, what in the world is that letter? and you're going to be confused. But just know most of the time you're going to see lower cases. Okay. So, how to memorize going back to kindergarten. This is what I recommend anyway. I won't make you sing now. First of all, because Zoom is horrible about that. If you were in person, I might have actually made you all sing. You have been spared. Lucky you. Okay. But I would recommend it fits well, very well with our alphabet song. You know, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, right? I'll put myself out for you guys. You're welcome. Um, just sing it, write it, memorize it. Of anything that we go over in this workshop, if you take nothing else away before you get to the start of the semester, know the alphabet and know it well. Forwards, backwards, you can say it, you can sing it, you can write it, you know where every letter is, you know what they look like, and you know their names. Because that's the basis, right? If you don't know the letters, you're stuck. Okay. Any questions before we keep going? Pretty straightforward, I would hope. Okay. Awesome. 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 That's a good thing. We've got a couple more letters to go through, but they're not official letters. These are markings, but they indicate a sound. So for Greek, when you have a vowel that begins a word, it's going to be accompanied with one of two breathing marks. Okay. It is going to have either a rough breathing mark or a smooth breathing mark. Okay. Rough breathing, it'll look like a little either apostrophe or C, right, facing inward towards the rest of the word. That is their letter H. So this right here would be pronounced ha. Ha. Okay. Now, other words will have the smooth breathing mark, which indicates that there is no H sound. It's silent. So that'll be facing outward. So I'm sorry. So this is a backward C. This is a, no, no, it's a C. It's a backward C. It's 8 o'clock. It's almost 9 o'clock at night for me. Okay, I'm good. Backward C. Okay. Smooth breathing. The way I always remembered it myself was the rough breathing mark leads into the word, right? So it's kind of like it's telling you jump into ha, ha, right? Smooth breathing is facing away, and it's just the opposite, so you don't say anything. So this is just ah. Okay. So those are the breathing marks. Last letter is an iota subscript. There are times, mostly at the end of a word, where you will see a little itty bitty iota underneath a vowel, and it is creating what we call a diphthong, which is two vowel sounds smushed together, right? So in this case, it would be an I. So it's an I, right? Excuse me just a second. Over time, this is another little quirk, because I don't know exactly how Dr. Thompson will pronounce certain things, so I'm just giving you the whole spectrum. Over time, this subscript was no longer pronounced, and so some scholars still do not pronounce it. I was taught to pronounce it. Just depends on what school you're learning from. Okay, so but just know it's there. There's a grammatical reason for it too, which is why I prefer to pronounce it, just so that I remember the grammatical structure. Um, so I recommend that you do as well, just for the sake of memorization and not confusing yourselves. Okay, but just know some people don't pronounce it, and that's valid. Okay. Diphthongs, like I said. Are we okay? I know this is a lot. Okay, we're good. This is drinking from a fire hose, right? And that's why we're doing it now. Um, you'll get to hear a lot of this probably again at the beginning of the semester, but then you'll understand it a little more. You'll have more of a grasp of it. You usually don't learn a language till you go through the alphabet a third or fourth time. So, getting you ahead. So, diphthongs, a vowel sound leading into another vowel sound, or in other words, two vowel sounds together. An alpha and a iota, same as an alpha and a iota subscript from the previous slide. Sounds like I, as in aisle. Okay. Alpha and an upsilon. Ow, ow, ow. Right. Ow, as in how. Simple so far. Epsilon and an upsilon. This is going to be the weirdest one for you. We don't have this in English. Oh, oh. Right? Usually when we see an E and a U together in English, we just jump straight to the U. In this case, oh, oh. Similar with an eta and an upsilon. Oh, oh. Okay. Again, we don't have anything for that in English. Omicron, iota, right? Oi, oi, as in foil. Oi. Upsilon and iota. Ui, ui. Okay. That's these. This is. I mean, you're going to see plenty of words with these diphthongs. You're not going to be able to escape them. Same with digraphs. Digraphs are two vowels that make a single sound. So epsilon and iota make an A sound. What other letter makes an A sound? An eta, right? So it has the sound of one letter, but it's two letters put together. A. Omicron and upsilon. Ooh, right? Ooh. It sounds as if it's one letter, but it's really two. Digraphs versus diphthongs. Love grammar. So, ooh. So you'll see that a lot. This will be the last technical thing that we'll do. Um, and I'm just giving this to you because this has everything to do with the letters. And this is probably the scariest looking piece of the entire thing is the accents. They are mostly there for pronunciation. They place the stress on the syllable. And there is always only one accent per word. Whew. Right. So a lot of what you'll see is an acute. Okay. It's pointing to the upper right. Okay. That's going to be either at the beginning or in the middle of a word, depending on where they want to stress the syllable. On the other hand, we have a grave accent. Okay. It is pointing from the top left corner down. And it's just a replacement for the acute accent for when the stress is on the last syllable of the word. Okay. That's all that's there for. Circumflex, all this is doing is indicating that the vowel, again, these are always over vowels, the circumflex is indicating that the vowel is a long sound. Okay, so like ah, sometimes it indicates that two vowels have been smushed together, uh, and now they're just writing one letter for the sake of ease for the scribe, and they're just putting a circumflex over top of it. Okay, that's it. Any questions on accents, breathing marks, diphthongs, digress? All good. All right. I'm done talking. I'm going to turn it over to y'all, actually, and I'm going to have you start practicing. I hope you were taking notes. But this is just to start to train your brain, right? Like I said in my email, when you learn a new language, you are rewiring your brain, right? You're making it learn a new reality. And now this is a new reality right here. So, Jordan, because you're the first person I see, um, no rush whatsoever. Can I have you try to pronounce number one?
I don't know if you really want that.
Oh, I do. Oh, I do.
Um, I don't even know how to pronounce what the second letter would be
That's a very fair point. I can help with that.
because
So
it doesn't it have an accent and I already forgot what you called it.
it's good. A breathing mark.
The open breathing mark.
Yes, the smooth breathing mark. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No, that's good. So
I don't even have an idea of how to begin to pronounce that.
that's all right. So we'll go a step at a time. Okay, so what's the first letter?
Alpha.
Alpha. Good. What does that sound like?
Ah.
Ah, good. Second letter?
Iota
Iota. Yes. Good.
with an accent and a smooth breath mark.
Yes. Good. Yes. And so just to reiterate, the smooth breathing mark means that there is no h, no H sound at the beginning. So all you're doing in this case is pronouncing
The
this. Mhm.
So then the third one would be nun.
New.
New.
New. Yes. Good.
And
What is
then
it
is
now?
it another iota?
Yes. Another iota, just no more scary accents or breathing marks over it.
So it's ah and then almost kind of silent and then new.
Oh, I see. Okay. So the smooth breathing mark doesn't mean that the vowel itself is silent. What it means is you're not adding an H sound before it. So if it had a rough breathing mark here, this would be pronounced with a ha, high, but it doesn't have, it has the smooth breathing mark instead of the rough breathing mark. Therefore, there's no H sound to it. So all you say is the diphthong, which in this case is I.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Do you know how I got there?
I'm tracking with you. I'm still trying to put all of the sounds together.
That's understandable, and that is why we're doing it. Good. So
So
you
it's
stop.
I, mm, is that correct? Or is it
Yeah.
new? Is it or is it new?
Mm.
Okay. And then it would go back to the H sound with the second iota.
Not H. So iota is an E sound.
Oh, it's an E. Okay.
Yes.
I don't have any, I'm trying to write this down maybe.
Yeah, you're good.
And then the next letter, is that an upsilon?
It's not, that was a good guess. It's not an upsilon.
It's a
In
lowercase.
it is a lowercase. Yeah. Give it one more guess.
I don't know because it looks like a Y to me.
Yes. So for upsilon, the Y is only is the
Uppercase.
uppercase.
Hmm.
Yes. And the lowercase looks like a U. So in this case, a little lowercase y is a gamma.
Oh, that's the only one I didn't take down. That's why.
Okay. Yep, that would do. Yep. So that's lowercase gamma.
So what does a gamma sound like?
That is g.
Okay.
It's hard G. G. Mhm.
And then it's a mu,
Mu. Yes.
an
Good.
M.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Yep. Good.
and then the last one is alpha.
Is alpha again. Yes.
It's an
Good.
A.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
So I have A, I, enigma, enigma,
Yeah. Yeah. So full. Yes. Enigma. Yes. Yeah.
enigma.
Enigma. Yes. Good.
I need
Well
no
done.
help.
Well done. That's awesome. We'll get there. We'll get there. It's all good. I know we already only have 12 minutes left, but it's okay. Um, we're gonna be doing this through next week, basically, just getting y'all. Steve gave you clapping. Yes, that's
Yeah, I
awesome.
mean, Jordan raised the bar so high, I'm terrified.
That's so, and what's awesome about all of these is you actually know these words. Enigma, enigma,
Mm.
enigma. This is where we get a lot of words from is ancient Greek. So enigma, that is where we get that word from. It's right here. Very good. All right.
Thank you for your help.
Stephanie. Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll keep going. Keep going. We'll get you there. Stephanie,
Oh no.
I'll have you spell it first. I'll have you spell it first.
Okay. So, so it's
Yeah, what's the name of the letter?
alpha,
Good. Good.
and then oh goodness.
And
Um,
and don't forget the marks over the words as well,
oh
because
yes.
those
It's a smooth breathing mark.
good.
Right.
Yes.
And then where is it? Um, so is that an X? So Xi? Xi?
C. Yes. Good.
All right. So so we would pronounce it as Xi or just the X
So just the X. C is
Okay.
the name
Of the
and
letter. Okay,
yeah.
got it. Um, not a breathe. No, that's a different. Oh, um, that's an iota. With
Mhm.
what's the mark on the?
Yeah, an iota with an acute accent
Okay,
over it. Yes, just giving you where the syllable stress is.
so E
Mhm.
oxy.
Good,
That's
good.
right. Um,
Halfway there.
okay. Omega, which is the O,
Good.
and then is that the mu?
That is mu.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So the M. And then alpha, no, yeah, alpha again. Okay.
Alpha again.
Oh,
Good.
axioma.
Axioma. Good, good. Can you tell
Eh,
what word this is?
Um, axioma. I should, but it's 9 o'clock where I'm at too. So, um, it sounds familiar. So,
Yeah. Axiom.
oh yes,
Axiom.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Very
Yes.
good. All right. Very good. Very well done. Yes. All right. Stephen Wilson.
Okay, I'm doing number three.
Yes. Yes. Spell it first and then
Okay,
pronounce.
I will give a forewarning. I have played a little bit with Greek, so no one
So you're
feels like
sitting over
they.
there going, when is this over?
No, 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 no. I want to make sure nobody feels like, oh my God, I can't do it because I've played around with it for a little bit. So it's alpha with the no rough breathing marks. So smooth alpha. It's rho, omega, mu, and alpha.
Good.
So I would say that's probably Aruma.
Yes, aroma.
Okay.
Aroma. Which we would pronounce aroma, but they would say aroma. Yeah, very good. Very well done. All right. Other Steve. Hello. There he is.
So I was comfortable clapping for my colleagues,
That's- And now it's your turn.
you know.
You spell number 4.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So I know first letter is first alphabet is alpha. I'm drawing a blank on the double marks, but
So over the alpha.
yes,
So
please.
that's another. So the first mark is the breathing mark, and that's always the case, by the way.
Okay.
It's always going to be the breathing mark and then an accent. So
Okay.
you have the smooth breathing mark first, right, which just means that there's no H sound. And then you have the acute accent mark next to it, which just means that the stressed syllable is this first letter.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I apologize. I wasn't in the place to write earlier. So
Yeah, it's all right.
the second one, second alphabet there. Uh, I'll ask for help, Christine. The
Yeah, absolutely. So the next one is a lowercase sigma.
Sigma. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Do you want to take a stab at the third letter?
I, I saw it on the slide, but I'm drawing a blank on what it is for. I know the O with the
With the line through it. Yeah, so that will
yes.
be theta.
Okay. Theta. Okay.
hmm
And then next one is what? Is it mu?
Mu.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then another alpha. Right.
And another alpha. Good.
Okay. Uh ooh, okay. Now the word. Hmm. Yeah, I'll ask for help, Christine, or phone a friend.
No problem. Do you want to phone a friend? Anyone else want to take a stab at it? Oh,
Is it
crickets.
asthma?
Yes,
Hmm.
yes, yes. And in this case, just for the sake of maintaining sameness. Wow. There's another word for it that I'm looking for. Sameness. We'll call it that. Asthma. Asthma. Um, and I'm harping on, keeping the vowel sounding the same for your benefit because that's going to be really helpful in memorization later on. Um, in terms of spelling words, recognizing them. So for the alpha, so asthma, which we would just ignore the th entirely, and we say asthma in English. So that's where we get the word asthma, asthmatic. All right. So yes, asthma. Um,
Thank
four
you,
minutes.
Jordan.
Yeah. Well done. Well done. Let's see. We have Aaron, Ron, and Catherine. We have 4 minutes left. I'll ask for a volunteer from one of you three to do number 5.
I can take a stab at it.
Okay, Aaron,
Is the first letter a gamma or
that is a
no?
gamma.
Okay, so then I'd like to guess the word. Is it grandma? Is
It
that
is it is
okay? So
grandma.
so it's gamma rho alpha mu alpha,
Good,
and
good.
there's no breathing marks or there's one accent mark. So
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yes, so exactly. That's a good point. So the word doesn't start with a vowel, it starts with a consonant.
hmm.
Therefore, no breathing mark is needed.
But is
Perfect.
there and then that's not a breathing mark on the alpha, that's the accent mark.
Yes,
Okay.
correct. And just saying this is where you stress put a stress on the syllable. So gram.
Hmm.
hmm
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
good. Yeah. All right, 3 minutes. So he did it really quick. So Ron or Catherine, volunteer for number 6.
Well, I'm going to be perfectly honest and transparent.
Mhm.
I did more looking. I didn't take notes because I was going to go back and listen to the whole session over again.
Okay,
So I'm at a loss. I'll just be honest with you.
that's fine. That's fine. So
I'm, I'm just being honest.
I
I,
know that's good. I listen.
hats off
I'm
to hats off to each of you guys for coming through the way you did. You obviously were anticipating more than I was. So I have to ask for a pass, and I'll see you next week. So
sounds good. Sounds good. We have you see we've got 40 on here. So I'm intent on having y'all read all of these for practice. So you'll have your chance. It's all good. So
all right.
Catherine,
I wrote notes, but is that a lowercase, the first letter?
it is.
Okay, because I'm looking through my notes and I'm like, I don't see that. Um,
You want to take a stab
is
at it?
it sigma?
It's not a sigma. That was a good guess though. That so the sigma doesn't have this little extra curve at the top. It just has a line. This is a sigma right here. This right here is a delta.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, and then epsilon
Good.
with a acute.
Good.
Right?
Acute. Yes. Hmm.
Okay. Um, and then rho,
Row. Yes.
mu,
Mu. Yep.
and then alpha.
Alpha.
I
Yep. And
don't,
you can
the
see all these. Hmm?
pronunciation,
You
I
want to
don't
take a stab? You want to try?
Uh, is it I don't know.
All right. So delta is a D.
Yeah.
Epsilon is an E. Short E. If I give you that much, do you know what a row sounds
Well,
like?
I think I is the rho what's the pronunciation of that?
It's an R. It's an R. Um, yeah.
Derna?
Yeah. No, say it again.
Derna?
Derma, right? Was that an M?
Derma.
Derma. Yes. Derma if you want to be like really fancy with it. Derma. But it is where we get dermatology from, right? So that is correct. Good. Good. All right. 6 down and 34 to go. So, but I'm proud of y'all. Very good. Well done. We will get you there. You'll get used to the look of the language, the sound of it. Um, but yeah, for our first go, well done. I'm going to send the recording to Student Success. Um, that will be attempt 1. We'll see how that goes. The hope is I send it to Student Success and they will let you know where they post it. That'll be round 1. And if that doesn't work, then I will find a way to post it on to YouTube. Okay. So one way or another, it will get to you before next week. You'll get to review it. Would you all like my slides? Would you like me to send the slides as well? All right, awesome. I will do that as well. You can review it. I definitely encourage you to look at it. I encourage you to look at it daily, honestly. Just spend a couple minutes, sing the alphabet to yourself, practice pronouncing each letter, and yeah, you'll be pros in no time. All right. Sound like a plan? And I'll see y'all next week. same bat time, same bat station. And all right. Have a good week, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Kristen.
For sure. See y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.